At 78, Sally Field finally tells the truth about Robin Williams. Sally Field was born Sally Margaret Field on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California. Field grew up in a family that was closely connected to the entertainment world. Her mother, Margaret Field, was an actress, and her stepfather, Jock Mahoney, was also a well-known actor and stuntman. These early influences, along with the exciting cultural environment of Southern California, helped to grow her love for the arts and gave her a close understanding of the good and bad parts of life in show business. Field first became famous in the 1960s with her breakthrough role in the fun television show GT from 1965 to 1966, even though the show only lasted one season. Her role as the lively, youthful, and easy-to-relate-to teenager made her famous across America. She followed this success with another popular TV role in The Flying Nun from 1967 to 1970, where she played Sister Bertram, a quirky young nun whose special outfit allowed her to actually fly. Even though the idea was silly and sometimes limiting, Field's natural charm and funny timing carried the show and made her one of television's most lovable stars of that time. As her career grew, however, Field felt the desire to break away from the typical roles that had defined her early years. Determined to be taken seriously as a dramatic actress, she trained a lot, including at the actor studio with the legendary Lee Strasberg. Her hard work paid off when she took on more complex and challenging roles, proving her amazing range. Her performance in the television movie Sybil in 1976, where she played a young woman struggling with multiple personality disorder, was a breakthrough moment. The role required a huge amount of emotional intensity, and Field's raw, fearless performance earned her an Emmy Award and wide praise from critics. It established her as a serious actress who could handle challenging material, and forever. It changed the direction of her career. The late 1970s and 1980s marked a golden time for Field, during which she became one of Hollywood's most respected leading ladies. Won her first Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Norma Rae in 1979, where she played a working-class Southern woman who becomes a passionate labor union activist. The film not only showed her strength as an actress, but also connected with audiences because of its powerful social message. Just a few years later, Field won her second Oscar for Best Actress for her role in Places in the Heart in 1984. A touching story set during the Great Depression, her acceptance speech for the award included the now famous line, "You like me right now, you like me," a moment that has since become one of the most memorable in Academy Awards history. Throughout the decades, Field continued to balance her career between film, television, and stage, proving her ability to adapt and her commitment to her craft. She appeared in a wide range of films, including Smokey and the Bandit in 1977, Steel Magnolias in 1989, Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993, and Forrest Gump in 1994, each time leaving a lasting impression on audiences with her ability to bring warmth, relatability, and depth to her characters. On television, she continued to shine with roles in series such as Brothers and Sisters from 2006 to 2011, earning her another Emmy Award. She also proved herself on the Broadway stage, starring in productions such as The Glass Menagerie, where critics praised her theatrical presence. Her later career has been equally impressive. In 2012, she received widespread praise for her portrayal of Mary Todd Lincoln in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln, a role that earned her an Academy Award nomination even in her 70s. She has continued to work steadily, showing an unwavering passion for storytelling and acting. Beyond her career achievements, Field has also been admired for her honesty, realness, and strength in her personal life. She has been open about the challenges she has faced, including struggles with self-doubt, the pressures of Hollywood, and personal relationships. In 2018, she released her memoir, In Pieces, in which she openly detailed her life journey, her career highs and lows, and her personal struggles, including difficult family situations, and her own path towards discovering herself. The book was praised for its raw honesty and emotional depth. Much like her acting, Sally Field's personal life has often been something the public was curious about, not only because of her fame as an actress, but also because of the unique paths her relationships and family have taken alongside her career. Field entered into her first marriage in 1968 when she married Stephen Craig. At the time, Field was still in the early years of her acting career. Having gained national attention with her breakthrough role in Gidget and later in The Flying Nun, her marriage to Craig represented a stable point in her life, offering her a sense of security while she dealt with the fast-paced world of Hollywood. Although their relationship faced its share of struggles leading to their separation in 1973 and final divorce in 1975. The years they shared together were very important for Field because it was during this time that she became a mother for the first time. The couple had 2 sons, both of whom went on to establish themselves in creative fields. Reflecting their mother's artistic influence, their first child, Peter Craig, was born in 1969. Peter grew up surrounded by a world of storytelling and movies, and as an adult, he used that inspiration to become a novelist and screenwriter. His work has been recognized in Hollywood, where he has written or contributed to major films including The Town, 12 Strong, and Top Gun: Maverick. Their second son, Eli Craig, born in 1972, also inherited a love for film, though he leaned toward acting and directing. Eli has become known for his work as both an actor and filmmaker, with credits that include directing the cult favorite horror comedy Tucker and Dale vs. Evil for Field. Motherhood was always a defining part of who she was, and she often balanced the demands of Hollywood with her devotion to raising Peter and Eli, making sure her children had as normal an upbringing as possible, despite being in the spotlight. After her marriage to Craig ended, Field's personal life took another turn when she entered into a high-profile relationship with actor Burt Reynolds in 1976. Their romance quickly captured the public's imagination, partly because they were one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples of the late 1970s and early 1980s. Field and Reynolds were not only romantically involved, but also worked together professionally, co-starring in 4 films together: Smokey and the Bandit in 1977, its sequel, Smokey and the Bandit 2, in 1980, the dark comedy The End in 1978, and the action comedy Hooper in 1978. Their on-screen chemistry mirrored their real-life passion, and the pair became one of the most talked-about couples in both movies and the tabloids. However, like many Hollywood relationships, theirs was complicated. Although they cared deeply for each other, their different personalities and the pressures of fame created tension. After 4 years together, the couple officially broke up in 1980, yet their connection remained strong enough that they continued an on and off relationship until 1982, when they finally ended things permanently. Reynolds in particular would later speak openly about his lasting love for Field, often calling her the one that got away for Field. Though their romance ultimately didn't last, it represented an important and life-changing chapter in her life, one that shaped her personal journey as much as it influenced her career path. In 1984, Field chose to take another step toward building a family life when she married her second husband, film producer Alan Greisman. This marriage marked a new era for her, and together they welcomed a son, Samuel Sam Greisman. Born in 1987, unlike his older half-brothers, Sam pursued a career largely outside the Hollywood spotlight, though he has dabbled in writing and directing, making his own path. Field has often spoken proudly of Sam and has also been publicly supportive of him, particularly when he came out as gay, with Field becoming an advocate for LGBTQ rights, reflecting the deep bond she shares with her children, despite their efforts to build a lasting marriage. Field and Greisman eventually divorced in 1994. While the breakup was definitely difficult, it reinforced a recurring theme in Field's life: her remarkable strength and ability to balance personal challenges with her ongoing professional success. Throughout her marriages, relationships, and role as a mother, Sally Field has consistently shown that her private life has been as rich and complex as the characters she has played on screen. Each chapter, from her early years with Stephen Craig to her whirlwind romance with Burt Reynolds to her marriage with Alan Greisman, shaped her not only as an actress but also as a woman who embraced love, endured heartbreak, and ultimately found fulfillment in her role as a mother to 3 sons who reflect her creativity and strength in their own unique ways. At 78 years old, Sally Field has lived a long and extraordinary life filled with personal victories, heartbreaks, and a career that has earned her a lasting place in Hollywood history. In recent years, she has reached a point of reflection where she feels more comfortable sharing honest truths about her life and the people who touched it most deeply. one of the most surprising and emotional revelations came when she spoke about her relationship with the late Robin Williams, the brilliant actor and comedian whose presence both on and off screen left an unforgettable mark on generations of audiences. In her own words, Field admitted just how complicated her feelings were. Toward Williams, I really loved him, but it wasn't like a romance. It was more complicated than that, she revealed, opening up about the way their lives crossed both professionally and personally. Their paths crossed most memorably on the set of the beloved 1993 film Mrs. Doubtfire, where Field played Miranda Hillard, the ex-wife of Williams' character. For millions of moviegoers, the chemistry between the two was undeniable. They argued, they bantered. And yet, underneath it all, there was an affection that felt genuine, almost too real to simply be scripted. Field confessed that this closeness was not just acting, it reflected the deep and layered bond she had with Williams during that time. But Field also acknowledged that her feelings were mixed with sadness and regret. I miss him terribly, but I also know that I didn't always say the things I should have said when he was alive. She admitted with disarming honesty. This kind of openness is something Field has embraced in her later years, speaking openly about the guilt that can come with losing someone too soon. For her, Robin Williams was not only a co-star, but also a friend with whom she shared a rare kind of emotional closeness, even if it wasn't the traditional kind of love story people often expect. She remembered how working with Williams was like stepping into another world. His mind was lightning fast, filled with endless ideas, jokes, and bursts of energy that could leave everyone on set breathless. Robin was exhausting, in the best way. Field said he would make you laugh until your stomach hurt, and then just when you thought he couldn't surprise you anymore, he would say something so sensitive, so tender that it would break your heart. For her, that was the essence of Williams. The clown and the poet, the whirlwind and the stillness, all wrapped into one person. Yet beneath the joy, Field admitted she always sensed an undercurrent of pain in Williams, something that made her instinctively want to protect him. I could see the sadness, even when he was making everyone laugh, she explained. He wore it like a shadow, one that never quite left him, looking back now with the perspective that age and experience bring. Field regrets not reaching out more, not trying harder to ease that burden. She said that sometimes she wonders if he ever truly understood how loved and cherished he was, not just by the world, but by the people who stood closest to him. Her thoughts on Williams were not just about grief, but also about gratitude. I'm so lucky that I got to know him the way I did, she said softly. He wasn't just a genius, he was a deeply human soul. And I think that's what people saw on screen. Someone who could make them laugh and cry within the same breath, because that's who he really was. For Field, Robin Williams remains a reminder of the delicate balance between light and darkness, and of the importance of saying the things we often hold back until it is too late now. At 78, Sally Field has decided she no longer wants to hold back. By finally sharing these truths about Robin Williams, she is not only paying tribute to a friend she adored, but also offering a lesson about love, honesty, and the fleeting nature of time. Her words serve as both a celebration of Williams' brilliance and a heartfelt confession of her own unfinished conversations with him. A reminder to all of us to speak our truths before the chance slips away. In her honest memoir, Sally Field opened up about a deeply vulnerable chapter of her life, revealing that during her late teenage years, she went through what she described as severe depression. This was not a quick sadness or a temporary struggle, but rather a deep and overwhelming emotional weight that affected nearly every aspect of her life. For Field, these years were marked by an inner turmoil that she often could not explain to others, and like many young people at that age, she felt alone in her suffering. The pressure of trying to discover who she truly was, coupled with the insecurities and uncertainties that naturally came with the transition from being a teenager into becoming an adult, created a perfect storm of emotional distress. Field explained that her depression was accompanied by what she called this urgency, this anxiety, this need to find something that was festering in me. Those words capture the restless energy she carried within herself, as though she was searching for an outlet or a way to express emotions too large to contain. It was not simply sadness, but a gnawing feeling of incompleteness, a sense that her spirit was pushing against invisible walls, yearning for freedom, clarity, and purpose. The anxiety she mentioned often showed up as a relentless questioning of her own worth and identity. It was as though she knew there was something important waiting to emerge inside her. But she had no map to follow, and no guarantee that she would ever discover what it was.